Hello and welcome to TCR Express. I'm your digital media editor, Warren Frey, and with me I have.
Journal of Commerce staff writer Russell Hixson and podcast co-host.
And Russell, it's been 2 weeks since the election and a week since Canada. What do you got for us?
Oh man, it's a busy week. Earlier this week I chatted with Scott Bone, who's in charge of the Northern Regional Construction Association in BC. I also talked to the BC Construction Association about procurement. There was a situation in the north where the province issued an RFP. People put together their proposals, and then it was canceled. And then they reissued it, and then awarded it. And this really frustrated the association and a lot of its members who put a lot of work and time and effort putting together their teams and coming up with their responses. And to have that just scrapped and then given no indication of what happened, why they scrapped it, was really frustrating. And so I wrote a story about procurement, transparency, and open and fair procurement. And they're just wanting more of that from the province. And they're starting to see kind of more procurement practices that aren't in line with industry standards. And that's a bit worrying. You can read all about that online on the Journal of Commerce. It takes a lot for. They even wrote a letter to the province that they released publicly, which is that shows how serious they are. I mean, it has to be pretty serious for them to publicly come out and say some things about the province that they're not happy with. They're very serious about this. It was very frustrating for them and their members, and hopefully it can all be resolved. But yeah, their main message was fair and open and transparent procurement is critical for people's businesses and their livelihoods. They want to know that the process is open and fair and that they can compete for these contracts. So yeah.
Cool. And you have another story in the works about safety, right?
Yeah, I literally just got off the phone about this. It's really interesting. So I talked to a guy who used to work in the oil and gas sector doing health and safety stuff. And so he would kind of review cases and gather data about injuries. And it was very reactive. So after someone had gotten hurt or someone had, some sort of issue, he would go in, investigate, gather data, figure out what happened. And that really frustrated him. He would rather be on the more proactive side. He wanted to prevent injuries from happening and make sure people are working safely. And so now he started a company. I'm probably going to say this wrong. It's HUMO. I'm assuming it's pronounced HUMO or HUMO. I'm not I'm not totally sure, to be honest. I've never said it out loud. But it's a wearable series of sensors. So you put this kind of like a Fitbit. If you know what a Fitbit is, or like a smartwatch. You put this on while you're performing your tasks, and they've developed like this machine learning algorithm. So it will tell you if you're working wrong or if the task that you're doing needs to be modified. So you'll put this on, you'll pair it like Bluetooth to the to the app or laptop or whatever. And while you'll work, and while you're working, it'll gather all this data from the sensors, and it'll spit out a report and tell you, hey, you need some more training on how to do this task, or it seems like you're putting some strain on your body, or this task appears to be not good. It needs to be modified the way that this task is being done. And it's still in the early stages, and the more people wear these things, the more data they're going to get, and the better the algorithm's going to be. And so they're hoping that in the future they'll have a much larger data set, and they'll be able to, quickly correct tasks or, people's posture or how they're doing things to prevent musculoskeletal injuries. So yeah, it's really interesting that they're merging this kind of technology, these algorithms and things to prevent injuries, because I think it's a big thing in the trades. Is I have friends who work in the trades and they've been doing it for decades, and one of the complaints is, man, my body's starting to hurt. Like I've been doing the same thing for 20 years, and it hurts. And it'd be great to have more data so that people, when they enter a trade, and they're doing these tasks that they're going to be doing for years and years and years. And if they could be quickly corrected to be like, hey, if you do it this way, it's going to be easier on your body. You're going to have fewer injuries. I think it's going to lead to happier, more healthy workers. So I'm really excited to see where this goes because, fewer injuries is always better, and it's better for the healthcare system. It's better for everybody to have a situation where people, it's not so reactive. It's more proactive. So yeah, that's what I got going on, Mr. Frey.
Awesome. Cool. And from the East, Don Wall recently wrote in a new guide published by the Ontario General Contractors Association called the OGCA Guide to Construction and Design Technology. What's notable is that of all the design technology and tools available for use today, the OGCA task force concludes that BIM is the most transformative, and in fact, this guide is focused on ensuring BIM becomes a staple tool and fully integrated in the sector. Tyler Holditch, who's the director of technology with Matheson, serves as the chair of the BIM/VDC task force that developed the guide, which is released September 30th. Quote, "There's starting to be a better understanding that BIM surely does nice, pretty 3D models, but it encompasses all that data within it, and now you're really at a data management level," he said. When it comes to BIM, you have involvement from all your stakeholders from the conception of a project through handover, end quote. Angela Gismondi has just finished up a story on a new television series on the Smithsonian Channel called Impossible Repairs, featuring innovative machines being used on projects around the world, and how the crews use engineering and problem-solving tactics to get those projects done in different conditions. One of the projects covered is the Ashbridges Bay Treatment Plant Outfall, a wastewater treatment plant in Toronto. This episode, called Big City Tunnel Boring, will air October 24th. Angela spoke with host and producer Mike Davidson on some of the highlights and challenges he and his crew faced while filming the series. If you'd like to hear other episodes of TCR Express or the Construction Record podcast, check us out at Amazon Music, Spotify, or Apple Music, or on the Daily Commercial News and Journal of Commerce websites. And make sure to tune in next week and read the sites for the second part of our Cracks in the Foundation series. Thanks for listening.